Well, this is a video I thought I was never going to make, but apparently Back 4 Blood 2 is rumored to be coming out, which is something I was totally not expecting. Now, for those that are new to this channel, I actually ended up liking Back 4 Blood. Yes, I'm one of those few people that did play the game and played a decent amount, but I would never put this on my bingo card because I know that this game was not very well received. But because this was so unexpected, at least for me, this is why it makes it extra exciting to talk about this, because we're basically getting a sequel to a game franchise that I thought was pretty much dead. The last time that there was any Back 4 Blood news that was relevant was a couple of years ago when I made this video where I talked about how that Turtle Rock was no longer going to be supporting the original game. And ever since then, the only other video I've made was an anniversary video where I went back to the game 3 years later. But other than that, the game has basically had no new updates and no news until this rumor started circulating apparently a couple of months ago. This is something that if it was just only just as it was coming out, I probably would have thought nothing of it and would just thought it was just fans stirring up rumors just for the sake of it. But apparently this has gained more and more traction as the months have gone on, making it relevant enough that I want to make at least one video about it. So why did this rumor start in the first place? Well, the rumor ended up starting when people ended up finding the resume of a stunt actor named Jesse Hutch who worked on the first game. And within his resume is a motion capture credit for a project called Gobi 2. And this is for the company Turtle Rock Studios. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck does that have to do with Back 4 Blood? The reason why that this is interesting is because this is actually a sequel to the original Back 4 Blood codename, which just went by Gobi. So this is Gobi 2, which is going to basically imply that this is working towards a spiritual successor or some sort of Back 4 Blood equivalent game. So, that being said, let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, do I think that this rumor has some merit? And the answer that I can give at this moment in time is I don't know. This rumor has only existed for a couple months and I didn't figure out about it until recently because one of you guys ended up telling me within my social medias. Now, would I be down for this? Absolutely hell yeah, because like I said, I was one of the few people that enjoyed Back 4 Blood. I ended up playing every single bit of its DLC. I enjoyed ranking up all the characters and trying to get their nightmare skins. I still do occasionally play, and I'm still working towards said nightmare skins. I have a decent amount of the achievements, the cosmetics. I have some of the limited time stuff from their Christmas and Halloween events. I genuinely liked this game, and I have the gameplay to represent that. Here is the thing, though, is that as much as I enjoyed Back 4 Blood, and it's a guilty pleasure of mine, I don't want a just flat-out direct sequel with this type of gameplay and story. Back 4 Blood was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and there was some things that I desperately wanted to see fixed and changed with the original game that never ended up happening. But with a sequel, this can rectify the wrongs of the first game. Now, I may make another video, if you guys want to see one possibly, of me talking about my desires and wishes for what a Back 4 Blood 2 could have. But for the right now, let's just keep this very simple. The two minimum things that would absolutely have to change in a Back 4 Blood sequel is number one, make the game have its own identity. We can't do this from the makers of Left 4 Dead crap again. Yes, factually that's true, but the problem is that this is giving a massive comparison to the Left 4 Dead franchise, which Back 4 Blood is not the same thing, and that made people very disappointed when Back 4 Blood wasn't Left 4 Dead 3, it was just Back 4 Blood. These are two completely different games, and they should be treated as such. And second, please, for the love of God, no more complicated gameplay. If you're gonna do the card deck, completely revamp it or just altogether get rid of it. Because of every single gameplay mechanic that was in this game, that was by far the most tedious of all of them. Because nobody wanted to have to make the perfect class setup every single time that they wanted to play this game. Nobody wanted to stop to read the cards. Nobody wanted to get those corruption cards popping up in their game and ruining their runs because they got unlucky, because they got spammed by several bosses into oblivion. The core of the game, which is just basically a chapter-based horde survival shooter with likable characters, is really at the minimum that this game needs to have. Everything else needs to either be tweaked, refined, or changed, because otherwise you're just going to get the exact same problems that you had with the very first game. I believe that there is a space in gaming where Back 4 Blood can be successful. It might not be the #1 game, and it might not necessarily be within the top 100, but it can have its own player base, just like the first game did, and still do well for itself, where the game doesn't have to end up being abandoned. Regardless about how you feel about this game is still one of the better Left 4 Dead spiritual successors out there besides World War Z, because all the other ones that ended up coming out are no longer talked about to this day. So you do have to give Turtle Rock some credit for at least making a somewhat decent game that, even though it's not perfect and is definitely rough around the edges, is relevant enough that at least it's still talked about. Now, Turtle Rock, I don't know what the odds are that you are watching this video. I don't know what the odds are that you actually are working on a Back 4 Blood 2 and this is possibly real, or if it's just rumors. But if you are watching this and this is a game you plan on working on, please, 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 for the love of God, continue to do what you did with the first game and listen to fan feedback, because your Twitter account was some of the most wholesome things I have seen for a video game developer in a very, very long time. I believe that your game can be successful. I believe that your game has rights to be made. I believe that your game can be fun. It's just that it has to end up being done correctly. The game must not launch in a poor state and have tons of problems at the beginning of its launch, because if it does, this problem will repeat itself and history will happen again. Back 4 Blood doesn't have to be a failure. Back 4 Blood can be a game that ended up getting a rough start and had success later on, just like any other game that launched in a horrible state. Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, etc. This game series can still do well. But as things stand right now, this is just rumors, and so in the meantime, this game series is still technically dormant. So if anything does ever come up about more rumors, or if anything does come up about an official release date for a Back 4 Blood 2, I will be sure to let you guys know. But yeah, guys, this is it for today's video, and I do truly hope you guys ended up enjoying. If you did, please consider dropping a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and all the beautiful stuff. And if there's a particular video you guys want to see from me in the future, whether it be Back 4 Blood or any other type of video, just let me know via the comments down below. As we wrap up the video, guys, just want to mention two last quick things. Number one, I have a second YouTube channel now. It is called Black Ninja 797 Extras. And on this channel, I'm going to be uploading and posting additional content that you would normally not see here on my main channel, such as gameplay walkthroughs, funny moments with my friends, and Challenge Accepted, which was a series I used to do here on my main channel where I played games that you guys requested me to play. If you want to check out the second channel, there is going to be a link down below in this video's description. I also wanted to say thank you and shoutouts to Epic Games for being my first ever sponsor. I have a supporter creator code with them, and the code is just my name, Black Ninja 797 in all caps. If you guys want to, you can use it in the Fortnite and Epic Games item shops. Anybody that uses my code or has used it before in the past, I tremendously appreciate you. And yeah, guys, all that being said, I hope you ended up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTubers I'm ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too, and give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!